Make sure you listen to my daddy's podcast right now. Is it best show in the world?
And this is episode number 37 of the Cards Face Up slash I Declare War with Ty Hill. I am your host, Mr. Ty Hill, aka we gonna get down to the nitty gritty today with somebody very, 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 very special. Somebody very, very near and dear to me, of course, and a lot of other people. So, y'all know over here on I Declare War, I like to build that moment in time. You feel me? And it's important because the I Declare War is about making sure that we're talking to people that have ran their world, has took over in their realm. And this person has really been taken over, and I got to build that moment for you. So allow me to build that moment before I introduce this person. So the year was maybe 2008, 2009. A Ty Gutter, you know me, was out there doing one of my many CDs at the time of my career that I thought I was going to have in the hip hop world.
You have it.
So I was doing one of those mini CDs, and I needed an R&B singer. And I kept asking for suggestions from everybody on the scene, and this one name kept coming up. You got to get this person. I said, huh? Who? And it came up from so many people, right? To the point they started showing me a video and a song, and they played this song right here for me, right? I want y'all to listen.
Got my nails done, got my hair did, looking flawless, yes, say homage. Drop my top back, wave blowing in the breeze. B-E-N-Z, written on my keys. You can down for my so-called enemies. Listen to the haters, cause they make me sneeze. Till I sneeze on you, now fade away with my crew go too.
Yo!
You
look,
took me
right?
back.
Right? I'm telling you, right? So they said I had to get this young lady on my CD, right? And I reached out to this young lady. And this young lady did not get on my song, and then my rap career failed. So not only is she very, very special to me, yo. Back then they wouldn't have called it ghosting, but she ghosted me. I think she left my message. We was on like MySpace or something. She left my message on red, y'all. She didn't get on my song. You feel me? Today's episode is featuring Miss Keisha Starr. Let me break down who she is. She's a singer. She's a songwriter. She's a best-selling author, a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, and now she's also Miss. You make sure you put doctor in front of my name, Keisha Starr. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on. You know, out of any interview I've done, this is my pleasure. This is truly an honor for me. So thank you for having me on, Mr. Ty Gutter, Mr. Ty Hill. You know, we want to salute you too, but I salute you. I get to it.
Well, I appreciate it. You feel me? After you ghost me and didn't come on my song back then.
That's not correct.
Did you get on my song?
Yes, I did. I got on your song and I got on other things. You know, but
look. It's an honor to have you on. So first I just want to congratulate you for all the great things that you have done as of recent and in the past. You have been doing wonderful things.
Thank you so much. You know, I have a great support system behind me, a great family, a great fiance. I just have friends, everyone that really support me, and that makes it a lot easier. So thank you.
Well, you know, speaking of your great fiance, you know, I heard that he runs his podcast, and I had a question for you.
Yes, excellent.
Now that question is, you have a lot of sex scenes inside of your book.
Yes.
And I want to know where do all those sex scenes come from? Because are they personal experience? Because some of them, you know, I'll be like, yeah, I remember that. And then some of them I'll be like, what's she been doing? Where's she watching this shit at? Or is these like some personal experience that I just didn't experience with you?
Let's say this, as an author, we are tasked with writing sex scenes. So don't think that, yes, and it could be inspired by personal experiences. I'm pretty sure you have read the book and be like, wait a minute, deja vu. Then another time you be like, who's that? Well, that comes from my vivid imagination. You know,
some moments be deja vu, and then some moments been, who's been fucking you?
No. I've done everything from of course, you read other books. I look at some of the sex group. I go in the sex group. I am guilty. If you go through my, when I'm writing a book, if you go through my history, you might see Pornhub on my history because I do in-depth research because I want to write sexual scenes that's very realistic. I saw a young lady in one of the groups say, let me ask you women something. Where are you finding these men with semen that tastes like peppermint? Because you just be like, mwah, and I swallowed it. And she said, and my boyfriend's semen tastes like glue, Irma's glue. So I was like, you know what? I laughed and I said, you're so right, because, I was guilty of that first book I'm writing. And, you swallowed, you did all this. And it's like, let's be realistic, unless you really this porn star that does that, like no one wants to just go and gobble down. That's not a good tasting thing to gobble down. So you make it a little realistic. Maybe you get a facial, just something. Maybe you play with it or something. But I'm pretty sure you read the book and you know.
Yeah, like I said, some of them is deja vu, and some of them is who's been fucking you. So no, but I like. I'm glad to hear that those things are what inspire. So
Yes.
in life, we're usually inspired by what we see growing up. Those experiences usually shape us into the adults that you see today. They create and mold us into who we are. So
Yes.
I want you to take a second to give us a look at your childhood and coming up, and let us know at least one or two experiences that shaped you and molded you into the Keisha Starr, the Dr. Keisha Starr that we see today.
Wow. Oh my goodness. If you know anything or follow me, you hear the name Park Heights. I tell them that PhD is not for Park Heights, doctor. And that is in every aspect of my personality. You get the professional, but you also get that loving. Sometimes, may have to get a little aggressive if I need to be, but the most time it's a pretty loving, chilled, laid back type of personality. I grew up with, my parents are from Jamaica, and I grew up with a huge support system, as I mentioned earlier. And in Park Heights, they called that Little Kingston. So growing up, it was like cousins, aunts, grandparents, my parents. I tell in my book, I said my mom and my dad, they broke up and became siblings. My mother and father, they weren't together. They broke up, but I didn't, I honestly thought they was brothers and sisters for a long time. That's how close they were. And, rest in peace to my father. The day before he passed away, he was on the phone with my mother and my aunt Pinchy for like an hour and a half, just cutting up and talking as they usually do. So that's the type of environment I was raised in. I was listening to Ghostface Killer. All that I got is you. I was listening to that yesterday. And when he was saying, four in the bed, I didn't want to sleep with John. He peed the bed. I'm listening and I'm like, oh my God, that just brought back memories. And it brought back good memories for me. I don't know if it was good for him, but I remember being with Vaughn and Guy and Sashella and Simone. And, we all together and we at Bill Avenue. Then we go to Rogers Avenue, walking up and down Park Heights and Lucille Park. And then you go around Gerson, you got Aunt Junie house, you got Christine around the corner, you got Miss Hazel, you just got everything. You on Belvedere, you good, and it's like at any given moment, I can go to any one of these relatives' house and you got your family around you. That's what you get from me. And unfortunately, in 1986, my family experienced a traumatic experience. My aunt and my two uncles was murdered. And I think it did two things. It created a type of society with me and my family that, we became very guarded and protective of one another. So we kind of be like, all we have is each other. But it also made me that aggressive, and it makes me not you can be this much close to me and still be not very close to me. Like I can love you and show you mad love, and you can feel so connected to me, but you're still very not connected to me. Because I need to know your loyalty before I let you in. And that's what it kind of created for me. And you could even read it in my books. I had a friend one day, I had an event coming up, and I was on the phone with her like, dang, the girl that was supposed to do my hair didn't show up. And she was like, girl, I come do your hair. And it was like 12 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I'm good. And she's like, I'm on my way. And for me, I instantly said, she set me up. She's on her way to come set me up. I woke my family up. I'm like, such and such on her way over here saying she about to do my hair. And mind you, they was with it too. They was like, make her come. I'm sitting on something. My brother up, he's sitting on something. And then that girl really came and just did my hair, you know? But for me, it was just like, I got to get in protection mode. So that's where I grew up. But I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. It made me push harder. My family is full of entrepreneurs. You know, we have the first Jamaican restaurant in the Park Heights area. My family formed the first reggae band in Baltimore called the Determination Band. You know, so I used to go all over with them and even when they were touring. And, you know, when they brought me on stage once, you know, I was that little chubby, fat little kid. But then they gave me the mic. And then I sang one of my mother's songs. And that's when my mother didn't even realize that I can sing. You know, and from there, it was just like Keisha can sing. And then, you know, my grandmother on my father's side was a writer. She was a poet. So all of that is what you see today. You see a writer, you saw the singer, you know, I put that down, but you got the songwriter too as well, you know. So I just grew up in a very artistic family.
And that's what I wanted to make sure we got to convey to the world, because anybody watching this, you know, we want to inspire as well. And a lot of people don't realize that our past is what make us. And sometimes our past is so drastic or so hard that we forget that, it still created us who we are today.
Yes, very. I have a slogan. I have an online course, and what I do is called Right for My Soul. And it's for anyone who went through some type of trauma.
What's the name? We gonna get into that. I don't want to jump the gun. Speaking on family, because you just now spoke real big about family. We have a listener submitted question. But this person might resonate personally with Miss Keisha Starr.
Okay.
Hey Keisha, this is your brother Deron, aka Dark Chocolate. I have a question. Do you read your book reviews? And if so, how do you deal with the good and the bad ones?
I love you, Deron. Anybody that knows, that's my best friend, you know. Love you, Deron. Love you, Malin. Love you, Darnitra, Simone, everybody. Let me answer that. Yes, I read my reviews. Reviews are, oh my goodness, are everything to an author. But it's also not everything and all in all and being all, because just like anything in life, you have people that may like something and people that may not necessarily like what you do, or they just didn't feel it. I haven't, knock on wood, had a bad review yet, but I'm open for it because all it can do is make me better. I can either read it and read it from a logical standpoint and be like, is this person giving me, you know, criticism, negative criticism, or they giving me constructive criticism? And if it's constructive, you know, I might find a person to reach out to them, like, you know, elaborate on what you said. And then what I try to do is fix it the next time. If I find that, you know, it's just sound very negative and it's the review is not really being made to give me a little guidance, and it was sent out in this world that, you know, we living in a social world where they say you can't beat the internet. So I'm not going to attempt to go beat no one that has a negative perception of what I'm doing. But if it's in a negative type of way, I'm not even going to pay any mind or harbor on it. You know, I'm going to use that to motivate me, because it more than likely 9 times out of 10, it's a hater behind a fake page or something. You know, I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's motivation, like you said. Everything motivation. It's a small thing to a giant. That's what we're gonna call it. So sure you got that listener submitted question.
I love it. That touched me. It made me warm a little bit.
And for those that didn't catch it, that is her brother Deron. So you know,
Dark Chocolate,
aka Dark Chocolate. So look, in 2011, right? Yeah. You were published with Nikki Turner for Street Chronicles, A Woman's Work. And you had a story in there that was called, a story in there that was called, yep, there's the book right there. For anybody, this is the perfect time to log into YouTube and go to Cards Face Up and see the actual book. We're going to have the links on here also as well. Make sure you go get that book. So it was Nikki Turner's
I came prepared.
A Woman's Work. I thank you for that. And inside that, you had a story called Dying to Be a Star. But the big thing about that was, at that time, Nikki Turner was titled as the Queen of Hip Hop Lit. Like she she was very, very popular. It still is popular, not
Right.
talking past tense, but she was very, very popular, and people knew her from her work, which was A Hustler's Wife. I remember reading that back in the day. Well, not
Yes.
reading it myself. This back when the girls used to read to the dudes and shit, and we would just act like we was paying attention because we wanted, what we wanted. And so Nikki Turner had A Hustler's Wife that was real big, and then she had a Project Chick was real big, and then she came on to do the Dying to Be the Street Chronicles, which had your story in it.
Yes.
How the hell did you make that happen? It's like you got some fantastic friends because you were.
I do.
Yeah, you were at that time. You weren't known. You weren't anybody. Not to say anybody special, but you weren't known in the author world.
No, at all. I didn't even have a book.
How the hell did you pull that off?
Love you, Waniki. My cousin Waniki was dating a young man who was 50 Cent's road manager. And he just happened to hear that I was like, I want to be an author. I told him I would, had some desire. I want to write. I was already writing songs and stuff. And I had written a book, Jamaican Me Go Crazy. So although Jamaican Me Go Crazy, you're just really getting it. It was the first book I ever wrote. And I wrote it, and he was like, well, you ever heard of Nikki Turner? I'm like, did I hear from her? Of course, that's one of my favorite authors. And he was like, I could get you in contact with her. She's doing a project with 50. And it went so quick. Like, he literally connected us. And I always say on my interviews, I was taken back of how laid back she was and humbled she was. And for me, it's just like, this is Nikki Turner. And had they had reality shows during that time, Nikki would have definitely been on one of these reality shows. She still is, but she, at that time, was at the top of her game and was that it writer and author. And I was like, oh my God, yes, connect us. And once we connect, she not only connect with me, she was like, I'm coming out of Baltimore. And I'm sitting like, okay. And I'm telling my family at the time, look, we got to find a hotel somewhere downtown. We got to do something nice for her. And when she came, she pulled up and it was just like, she was in Park Heights. Like, I ain't going nowhere, girl, please. And I'm downstairs, because if you know anything about the house back then, like your grandmother still got the plastic on her couch. So I'm like, I'm taking you to Shantae living room. Like, you gonna sit here because the living room decked. And she like, girl, let's go upstairs to your room. And she was upstairs in the room, shoes off. And I remember just being in that moment, like, I have Nikki Turner down Park Heights, shoes off in my room, kicking it. And from then, it just became natural. It wasn't even like, oh my God, you're Nikki and I'm Keisha. It was like, what's up, little sis? How can I help? What can I do? And once it was like, oh my God, I love your story. I love your writing. I'm about to put you in this book. And she was like, I had this big, humongous story. It was a big story. So I had to write a story off the whim. And that's what I did. I came up with Dying to Be a Star, which if you read it, you'll know that at the time I was doing music too. So, I had to write that off the whim. And I wrote that about, just some of the stuff I was seeing in the music industry and on the local scenes.
That's like I said, I want to call them your super friends, because you got a lot of super friends that people may not know that they're friends.
No,
it's not actually. We've done business with them, but they're still friends. And, I can vouch on the Nikki Turner stories. Even down to, I remember Nikki Turner. We had a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yes.
She came through and pick her feet up and shit like that. So
yes,
that's a super friend. You feel me?
Yes.
So that was dope. I've heard you mention the saying, and it's one of your favorite quotes I've heard you say, which is "Follow your dreams, or
you'll work for someone who followed theirs." Yes.
Exactly. And I've heard you mention that so many times, and it's pretty clear that you're a born leader, you're a born entrepreneur who prefers to be a boss chick, who prefers to be bossed up.
Yes.
And you've done that. You've done writing, nonprofit stuff. You provide through the community, not just your 9 to 5, but on a personal level. You offer all of these things that's on boss aspect.
Yes.
But then you went back. I mean, you were still going to school while you were building your career, and you ended up getting your doctorate degree, PhD, your Park Heights degree that you want to call it. I got to call it your Park Heights degree. You feel me?
It
But it's in
is.
multidisciplinary approach to human services with a
Yes.
specialization in marriage and family counseling.
Yes.
Now you did all of that. Y'all saw me run out of breath. That shit was longer than the Bone Thugs and Harmony song. I just ran. That was. It's either I'm fat or that shit was really that long. But you got your PhD inside that. What made you still go to school? Because and I asked that because you don't have to. You didn't have to. Everything that you're doing that you have bossed up on has been without school. You know, these are entrepreneur things. What made you still choose to go to school?
Because a lot of times when you're from where I'm from, you go after these jobs because you still have your when I say follow your dreams, that don't mean you can't work for anyone. Because I'm a still work for your organization, but I'm gonna be on the side. I don't care if you're the CEO. You're the CEO. I'm the co-CEO in my mind. Because if you ever tell me leave your job, because I'm gonna do what I love. So if doing your job is something I love, I'm gonna do it. But what you're not gonna do is shortchange me either. And I noticed when I would be in these jobs and I was, hey, raise, why am I getting this and this person getting that? And a lot of times I even will look at the color of someone, not bringing no race into it, but we see this throughout the board too. And then they won't specifically come out and say, well, of course they would never say Johnny is getting this because there is a racial disparities in these organizations. They're going to say Johnny has a degree. Johnny has such. And I was noticing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get the highest degree that they have. What's the highest degree? PhD. I'm going to go get that. Okay. So when I get and I come to you and I say, I want these raised, you're not going to tell me Johnny is getting this amount and I'm getting this amount when Johnny don't have the degree I have. I have a fight and a leg to stand on. And not only that, we see what this pandemic has done to so many people. I'm going to put myself in a position where if it's a pandemic, if the CEO of this company decides to let me go right now, my family is still going to eat. I'm going to be able to pick up and I'm going to become your competitor. So I always say, you even, respect me or I'm going to become your competitor. What I say, if you close the door on me, I'm going to come back and buy the building and I'm going to evict you. So on a job, I'm very humbled, but I am that person that be like, look, I want to be respected. I have the degree, I have the education, I have the knowledge, I have the experience. Just give me the respect. Student loans aren't, it's called a loan. They're not cheap. So I need a job to be able to pay you back, and if I don't pay you back, you're ruining my credit. So we already have a partnership going on right now. I need your degree. You need your money that you gave me for your degree. So pay me so I can pay you back. And move on with my life.
Talk your shit.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna tell you, right, the importance of me pointing out that is a lot of people, it's always either or. That's how the world has created either or. Now you're a boss, go do what you're supposed to do by yourself. You don't need that degree, this, that, and another. Or it's the degree, you get the degree, you're gonna step up inside this world, you're gonna become this, you're gonna beat everybody on the aspect of how much education they have and XYZ. And it's rare that you see both sides.
Yeah.
And I rarely see you bring up the other side when you're on one side. So when you're on your entrepreneurship, shit, you feel me?
Tongue
You
twister.
rarely bring up the fact that you have PhD.
No, I don't.
You're on the business aspect, and I'm one that tells you personally. I look at you a lot of times, and you know it from if y'all ain't fucking realized this by now, this is my fiance. So I look at you a lot of times, and I have to tell you, yo, go be that boss bitch that you are. Go. No, you demand what you are, nigga. You have the power to demand whatever you want on any realm of the world. Again, that's what this whole I Declare War segment is. It's about running your realm. It's about being in charge of your shit. You feel me? It don't mean you might be the biggest, might not be the smallest, whatever it is, it means you run your area of what you do.
Yes.
And this platform is the place that they're able to make sure that they see that. You feel me? Once again, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to all of my streaming places that you can get my episodes of Cards Face Up. You feel me? So, Keisha, I wanted to ask you feel me? Because time is money, right?
Yes. It very much is.
Right. And living inside of a pandemic and things of sort, we've realized that every second is valuable if we didn't already know. Does it become overwhelming for you to have to deal with the family, the friends, the associates, the people who think they're friends that want to pick Keisha Starr's brain? So I've never been as hot as you. You know, I've you know, I'm a little, like I told you, my career failed. My career failed as soon as you didn't do my feature. So my rap career was over. But it has to be hard for you to get pulled left, right, everyone wanting to pick your brain and stuff like that. And I experienced that as well on certain aspects when people will pick my brain and I'm giving it all to them. I'm giving them every part of me because that's the type of nigga I am. And I give them that just not even to be mentioned or appreciated once they succeed at the shit I gave them. Yes. So that was like a two multi question right there. So the first part of that question is, how does that make you mean? Like, how do you deal with everybody wanting a piece of Keisha's brain? How you do this? How you do this?
Yes. Let me tell you, if you don't, first of all, I used to suppress it and try to help everyone because naturally that's what I think I'm a natural helper and want to fix. Even when I'm broken, I'm trying to fix someone else. So naturally, when they're picking my brain, I'm giving everything, then I'm being a mother and I'm being a student at the time if I'm doing a student or I'm being an author, whatever I'm doing, I'm still taking out. And then I had kids. And then my fiance started telling me, sometimes you're taking away from family time. And I started noticing that. And I think when I started to weigh or look at my kids, especially on there, you know how they are on Fridays, is pizza movie night. And then when I start looking at their face when I'm not giving them my 100%, and that's when money don't mean anything to me. That's when I start weighing what really matters to me. And so I'm able now. And then honestly, again, now I'm able to say, hey, you want my time? Here's a consultation link. Go pay that money because you can't just reach out to anyone else and do that. When you reach out to anyone else and they say you're going to have to pay me, you automatically know you're going to pay for this. And I noticed that.
I remember your fear. Sorry to cut you off, but if you ain't never listened to the Cause Face Up, I cut everybody off. So
it's fine.
My listeners know. Listen, I remember your fear of the consultation fee.
Yes.
I remember you coming to us, and you discussing the fact of the consultation fee, and I had to make you remember. Niggas been doing that shit to us for years. We paid for everything that we wanted. Every connect that we got, we had to pay. And it doesn't mean, like I said, you created a list of, both of us have created a list of our superstar friends.
Yes.
But people don't realize to hang with a superstar, it costs. It don't
does.
mean they might be charging you, but it just costs. You feel me? I'll trip here, I'll trip there. When y'all see us moving certain ways, as y'all see, exactly, you feel me? As y'all see, we both set up in different places right now. You feel me? All of that stuff costs. But I remember your fear because it was so. You are a giver, and I've seen it. You give everything within you. You feel me? And you're constantly compared to my mom with that, as far as just giving everything until you're depleted. Yeah. And you didn't want to do the consultation fee.
No, I didn't.
And I thought that it was important because that's how business works. So how are people accepting that? The fact that now you charge, I can't give you my time because every second is valuable. I could be doing something for self, and not to mention, and I think it works. And I know I'm over talking, but I think it works because a lot of people giving consultations, they're charging for it, but you give a lot of time for free outside of this realm, outside of this writer's world or the entertainment world. You're giving out. Everybody know if you go to Keisha Starr, any social media platform, she's constantly doing something for the community. Yes. Outside of job, outside of work, outside of things, she's constantly doing something as Keisha Wizard for the community. Yes. So you provide that for free. So how are people accepting the fact that now, oh damn, I gotta pay to talk to sis?
No, like they are always like. I noticed that I still get the flood of inboxes and DMs, but when I send that link, is less follow up, which is personally is very cool with me. And you notice I done had someone reached out because even outside of the consultation. I know someone who was in grad school, so I know how that feel to have a paper and you're not a writer. And this person had a paper that he sat on the whole semester because out of his fear of writing. Mind you, let me put the background on it. I don't know this person. My mom called me and said, hey, my such and such from work has her husband, and he just want to know, could you tell him how to even go about setting up the paper? I'm like, how many pages is it? 20. And I'm like, okay, when is it due? Tomorrow.
I remember that.
And I'm like, okay. So I said, tell him to send me the paper so I could just see the instructions and, see what he need to do. And what I was going to do is format it for him, tell him what to write, how to break it down, and how to do each part. And this, I looked at the paper. I got the paper probably around 5:00 p.m. So it's not like I had it the whole day. And God said, help him. And that's what I did. I did that 20-page paper. So when he thought he was getting the outline at 10:00 p.m., I sent him an entire paper done. And initially he was grateful. But then I noticed, next thing I know, it was a paper sent in my inbox again a week or 2 weeks later. And it was like, hey, here's another paper. And then it was just like, sir, like, oh no, I helped you, And then my father passed. And I explained that to him, like, I can't help you right now. My father passed and going through my own stuff. And he waited and came back 2 weeks later, and that's when you get me to turn. And that's when you get that other side of the wall, go up and when that aggressive Keisha, when Paul Kite's Keisha come up, everything goes down and it's like, go. I see red and I see red, but I'm on green. I'm gone. I'm going with it, and I hate to feel unappreciated. And I hate to feel that you want me to help you to become my competitor, but don't want to support me. Like I have people coming like, hey, I always want to write urban fiction. How you do it? How you do this? How you do that? I want to do that. Then I look and like, dang, you ain't even buy my book yet. I don't mind telling you how to write a book. I don't mind doing none of that, but support me. My kids got to go to college in a few years too. They 4 and 6. I got to eat them. They got to eat. I need to put up something for them too. And this is how, their money comes too.
Their father want to be a stay-at-home father,
And I listen, I'm all for it. I actually have a friend. I have a friend. Shout out to Shao. We both have friends. Shao, look at, if it's any man out there that's worth it, I have a friend named Shao, and she's looking for a stay-at-home father. She don't have any kids, but that girl is a grinder.
Look, homies, I ain't mad at y'all if y'all want to stay at home, but it's just not me. So, Keisha,
you not.
I wanted to speak on that just because I knew that was a crossroad in your life. And that's really when I saw things start turning into where Keisha Starr, the business person, wanted to be. I tell you to take your feelings out this shit all the time. It ain't about feelings, man. And a lot of people, when they look at us, they consider us power couple. And it's funny because before we actually did anything significant, we were already considered the B&J of Baltimore, which is always a big turnoff to us. We hated that shit.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
Yeah, they definitely are very big, but we were always considered that. And I just wanted to make sure that people understood the business aspect of what it takes once you get to a level.
I do.
Once people get to a level,
because you stood up.
No, that was funny as shit because you just now looked to the right. No, I saw you look for you can hear my voice.
No, so, I looked for you. Yeah, I did. I did.
That was funny as shit. Y'all got to watch this on the YouTube because I was looking at you. So we're in the same house recording, but we're on different floors of the house. And she could hear me a little bit, and I can hear her a little bit, not just through the recording, but I just saw her look for me.
I did look over. I was looking for you. But no, man. Funny. I like the way, how you even like, I love what you do, but you need sometimes... And when I see you come, I take it when you go with me on a meeting, I'd be like, oh Lord, when you say, let me ask you something, and you start breaking it, I'm like, oh, Ty about to pick your ass.
Oh, I'm the I swear I'm the overprotective, the overprotective fucking security guard or whatever you want to call it, because I do understand a lot of shit with this, and I do see you getting pulled in a lot of ways, and I do know what's important to you. And the world might not know what's important to you. And that heart is split in so many different places that I just want to make sure you're able to give it to your family the way that you want to, because those are the important things, you know. So yeah. Look, we have another listener submitted question for you. We're doing something new for this episode, just for Dr.
I feel
Keisha.
special, okay?
Look, just for Dr. Keisha Starr over here on
I
I
feel
Declare War, we're
special.
doing something new. They are audio user submitted
You
questions,
know,
and
let me get my card back.
I want you to listen to this.
Hey, best friend, it's Carmen. So I know what your writing space looks like. I know what you need to start writing. What I don't know is how you come up with all the plot twists. So take a little time to tell us how you twist and turn the plot in that Keisha Starr way that you do. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Okay, shout out to Lena B. When your bestie is an author too. Hey, y'all be sure to go look out for Lena B. Plot twist. So yes, they have coined me the plot twist queen. And first of all, shout out to Victoria Christopher Murray, who her book now is about to, both of her books are about to play on Lifetime in April. Who's also my mentor. And when you have someone on that level, that's with TD Jakes and Tyler Perry, and she said, look, you're the plot twist queen. And I don't know no one that could twist a plot like you. I want to first say I don't go into a book knowing what I'm going to write, you know, and that's been, and by me doing that, I for me, my options are open and it's free. So even on the second part of the part 2 of Jamaican Me Go Crazy, I didn't know how it was going to end. It ended totally different, you know, and it wasn't until I went back and read it and be like, I seen that coming, you know, and I'm like, no, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this happen at the end. So by doing that, now I have to go back to the beginning of the story and drop clues to make it make sense of why that end differently. So some people may think it's thought out, but for me, I read it and then I go back and be like, how can I mess their head up? Because if I sit down with a formula, you just going, you know.
Right.
But if I go read it and I go drop some stuff in it, because I've read my own book back and be like, get the fuck, like I forgot she did this. And then, you know, like, so when I'm able to trick my own self or exceed my own expectations, then I know the book is right. And you won't get it until I feel that way. So that's how I'm able to do these plot twists, because I don't know that they're coming up. And it may be the second or third time I read the book back that I go and I may place it at the beginning. I may place it at the end. I may go and place it in the middle. And then after I do that, I have to go back and add different things in there to make it make sense and tie it together, if you understand what I'm saying. That's how I'm able to, you know, do these plots. I don't know if that's the standard, if that's even right, but that's how I do it. It works for me. So, you know, I stick with it. Stick with it.
That's a good answer. Lena B, I think that was a good answer. I think you'll be satisfied with that
Thank
answer.
you.
We appreciate you for calling in and leaving that for us. Dr. Keisha Starr.
Yes.
You started off as, again, I became a fan, because we have to make this shit known. This is not just a lady that I know personally. This is a lady that I was a fan of first. Before anything else, I was a fan. And I became a fan off of the beautiful, sexy, soulful voice that you had. You have. And by matter of fact, I said had, but I meant had. Because
Thank you.
want to. No, I just want you to know that this is about to be very, very, very fucking uncomfortable for you. Yeah, look at it. Look, I just need you to give them a little something. A little something.
Okay.
I know you don't do this no more, Craig.
Oh.
I know. But it's Friday. You ain't got shit else to do.
Sunday.
Friday.
Okay. Lord, you put me on this. Okay. There's no place I'd rather be than with you, boy. 'Cause you understand the things I do. And you always near when I need you. Have no fear, I'll always be here. I'm
Let me
leaving
get him, Keisha. Ooh. No. All right, look. So yeah, I met her as a rapper, but I just wanted to make sure they understood the incredible,
Oh God,
beautiful,
I ain't singing so
soulful.
long.
Listen, the voice was incredible, but at the height of this voice that I said in the beginning of the show that everybody was saying, "Oh yeah, you gotta get Keisha on it. You gotta get Keisha on it. This, that, and another." You feel me? You said fuck music and started doing your book.
Yes.
Why?
Well, if you know what, I mean, you could get part of it too. It's different layers to why I stopped. One layer was I had a thing that I said, at 30, if I ain't there, I'm done. At 30, I had that, so I had a cap on it. I had a time frame. Two, the music industry was just so on a local. So I couldn't even imagine at the industry level, on a local level, there was oh my God, so much sexual things going on behind the scene and lack of respect sometimes. And if you wanted to be that girl or you wanted to be somewhere, you either had to be down. I want to say that. So even in the book I wrote, Dying to Be a Star, it was about a young lady who she had a very powerful voice and she wanted to make it. And she moved out to Atlanta. But honestly, she was sleeping with the producers just to get beats and doing different things. And I've seen that. Like in the book, they called her FFB, and she didn't know what FFB stands for, and it stood for Fuck for Beats. And that was actually, I was able to put that in the book because I actually, I feel bad about it now, I pray on it. But it was a young lady that I called Fuck for Beats, and it like stuck with her. I didn't mean for it because I said it to one producer and he said it to another, and it did lead to, that was her name, but she was going around from different studios and people were doing it. I wasn't about to do that. That's one. Also, initially I didn't like the fact that my talent didn't, whatever, you just heard that little voice that I ain't sing over years, but like you said, I was singing, taking voice training, doing everything. And I was a writer. And at that time I was big. I was 300 pounds, and it wasn't about the talent. It was about look, sex was selling. And I was a very confident, thick chick, thicker than a snicker. And I ain't talking about the good thick. Like, you see Megan Thee Stallion thick. I'm talking about Lizzo thick. And had her same.
Shout out Lizzo because
Yes.
Lizzo had that confidence like you had as
like me.
as Retribution.
Don't play.
No.
No, and then what's the sad part? I talked about it. Someone, I remember, I don't know if you remember, someone hacked my Facebook account. And someone called me and said, why you put up that picture? And I said, picture what? And when I looked, I tried to get in my Facebook account. I don't know if you remember, I couldn't get in. And it was, the profile pic was Precious. And this was after I remember. This was after I lost weight because I lost 175 pounds. And I'm at the height and it says, this is the real Keisha Starr, and it was just like, damn, like what's going on? And I just hated all of it. And what I do know is that I love to write, and that was my comfort zone when I would be, and I never wanted to be, let's be clear. I never wanted to be an artist. You've heard that story. I was actually paying people to sing the songs that I was writing. I wanted to be a songwriter. And my mother and my family was like, listen, why? Because, they were backing me, putting money behind me. And it was like, why are we paying people to sing these songs when you can sing them yourself? And so I did it myself. And my uncle Murray, shout out to Uncle Murray, he had connections through Def Jam Jamaica. So Sly and Robbie, who are, you think of the biggest producers for Def Jam on the Jamaican subdivision, and he sent it to them. They sent it to to their Def Jam, and then I started getting calls for songwriting and everything. But it was just like, okay, Keisha Starr kind of kicked off, and it went off before it wasn't supposed to be a Keisha Starr. My name was just Keisha, and so the Star became because I was cracking, me and my cousin Vaughn crack jokes all the time, and Star Jones, she came out, and so he's like, go ahead, Keisha Starr, because I was fat. So when they called me and said, okay, we putting out your songs, we taking 3 of the songs you wrote, We putting a little mini album together. We need a name, Keisha. And I said it as a joke because he had just said it to me. I said, Keisha Starr, you know, the play on me, you know, being fat or whatever. And they was like, no, we're going to keep that. And they kept it. And
I
then
think that's what creates a star. I didn't say, sorry to cut you off. I think shit like that is what creates a star. Because I be listening to people's stories and shit.
Yes.
And they be having some crazy, funny ass stories. Oh, this is how I became this person or that person. Like, and that's one of those great stories right there that you're able to tell on any level. Even if you get, when you get to the billionaire level, you'll be able to say, oh, this shit started as a joke. Me and Vaughn, like, we was just laughing and he was cracking on me. Like, those are the great stories that we try to pull out over here that just are incredible.
You know, I've been very skilled at taking my pain and play with it. So, you know, and I never even considered being fat. Like I said, Jamaicans, first of all, when you have a Jamaican household, they be like, go on, fatty, boom, boom. That's it. I'm like whining. I'm whining more than any of my skinny cousins, you know, and then especially my mother. Listen, at fat, my shirt tie up. I got on, y'all, now people like are wearing, what is it? The little fluffy skirts. I'm looking like Punky Brewster, fat, whining, doing, that was my personality. But I remember doing that album, and I remember specifically spending about $400, $500 with my family on a glam team, 3 change of clothes, a professional photographer, and did a whole album cover shoot. And I remember walking away and coming back, and all I saw was, it was a black screen, and it says, who is Keisha Starr? And I saw these beautiful eyes and these soup coolers sitting on it. And I said, what the hell is this? You know, and they said, shout out to this producer. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want nobody, because he's still a cool friend, but he was like, look, and then mind you, he is signed at the time to Interscope Records. That's another thing. My producer was signed to Interscope Records. So he was like, I'm going to be frank with you. You're big as hell. He's like, you're fat. You do know that, right? He was like, and we need people to fall in love with your voice before they realize you're big as shit. And this is exact words. And if you know, Paul Kites came out, and I'm looking like, I don't give a what they fall in love with. You better put my picture back up on this album cover. And so he's like, well, we're going to have to be creative. So what they did was, you saw this half of me, and when it got right down to the breast, it was enough. They started over again and had breasts back to my face. So you see 2 images of my. Then, and I was like, you know, I hate it. So I didn't like it. I really didn't. And I like my comfort zone was writing. So
then, and it's crazy because you're whether big, skinny, small, tall, short, whatever, your confidence level is one that everybody salute you on, because you have high confidence no matter what.
I never changed.
Yeah, the Keisha we have today is the Keisha that we had when she was bigger. So it's funny that those things, but you think that kind of pushed you away from music? It was like, man, fuck that. It's too much.
It's too much. Like when I can't be myself, I started to really feel like, honestly, I started to have 2 different, I think I was being forced to have 2 different Keishas. And I started to almost feel the mental, then the psychological pressure of it, because after getting gastric bypass surgery, you know, and it's like I fell into, okay, I just lost, I was just 300 pounds. I lost 175 pounds, and I look in the mirror and I still like, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to get some breasts. I went and got breasts. Oh my God, I got to do a tummy tuck. You know, I was about to chop my nose off. And then my nose is what connects me to my father. I look just like my father. We got the same nose. And it's just like, where does it stop? And it's almost, you see that I'm never going to feel, it's not even the people saying I'm not good enough. I now feel I'm not good enough. I'm now portraying my own personal inner demons and my own perceptions of myself, you know. But I started having colorism issues with my own self, not no one else. This is not an OG thing. This is me looking like, oh my God, if I could be a little shade lighter, because the lighter, you know, artists were getting the shine no matter what. So I'm like, if I could be a little lighter. I think they did something recently with Rick Ross and them. If you've seen it, I've seen it, so don't quote me on it, but they showed some type of talent thing where the girl came on, the dark-skinned girl, and she sang her ass off. And they gave her hard criticism. And then basically didn't pick her. And then you had this light-skinned girl came on who couldn't sing a lick, but she was light-skinned. And
you woke me up. You woke me up for that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I woke you up.
Yeah.
And they picked her, and this happened years ago, but somehow the footage came out, and the dark-skinned girl was like, I'm glad that someone's put that out and seen what I experienced.
Well, we know that it exists. We know that these things exist. I mean, the color barrier, I mean, and just light skin versus dark skin. And it is, you feel me? And when people think, we've had an episode that we spoke about Lizzo, you feel me? And a lot of times people don't know that Keisha is a driving force behind the Cards Face Up podcast. And she's usually has the other set of earphones and she's right there.
That, yeah.
And we spoke about Lizzo on the episode. And, you know, she looks crazy now. They're beating her up for certain things that she's saying and
not
doing.
For what skinny girls do.
Exactly. It's the same thing as Monique. Monique was one person that reminds me of you. Monique talked about fuck them skinny bitches, this, that, and another. First chance Monique got, she went and got that motherfucker and lost that weight. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the cruel factors that music world had on you.
Because you damn if you do and you damn if you don't. You just created, you just said something. You just said something very powerful if you look at it. You had Lizzo, who was big and said, okay, she got the money. Some of y'all can't get surgeries until tax time. You know, and we all know that. Stimmy, when the stimmy's in the system, ain't no telling.
Ain't no telling.
So, and you have Lizzo who can more than afford to get gastric bypass. She can pay out of pocket for that shit. And then, she more than likely, she got better health insurance through the industry than we have. So the insurance definitely gonna pay for it because her BMI is at the level where she's gonna qualify for a lap band, gastric bypass or something. She didn't do this. She's taking it. She's loving herself. She get criticized for it. You have Monique. The first chance she get, like you said, lost the weight. She get criticized for that. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Cardi B accept her award. If you look it up on YouTube, and she said, sometimes I feel like, damn, you can't do enough for these people, you know? And that's exactly why I walked away from it, because I'm going to do me. I'm not even going to worry about, let me not say that. Would love to be published under a major publishing company, but I love the freedom of being me. And when you're able to have a following, you don't need them behind you. And that's what I've created for myself. Yeah, I would love to have your money and to be placed directly in Barnes & Noble as soon as I drop, you know, but what I'm going to do is go create my own avenue because I'm coming out of Barnes & Noble anyway because I'm available. All my books available anywhere.
Make sure y'all know that every book that she has ever dropped is available anywhere that you can buy a book. So make sure that, you feel me? Make sure they know that. So look, Keisha, we understand of why you chose the writing realm versus the singing realm or the R&B realm or all of that stuff. You feel me? We respect you for it.
Thank you.
Being inside such a competitive genre, how do you separate yourself and what you write from the others for what's already been done? Because again, you have that team of super friends.
Yes.
You have those. You've seen success. You've seen success on a Nikki Turner level that was the queen of this shit. Yeah. You feel me? So you've seen where it goes.
Yes.
How do you separate yourself? So when I did music, I didn't listen to none of you niggas shit. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I ain't listen. That's how I became, they say, the country fucking boy that I am. You feel me? That's why I listen to country music.
Yes, all day he does.
Yeah, I didn't want no input from nobody. I lied. I told so many lies as a rap artist. Yeah, hell yeah, boy, give me that CD. I'll support your shit. That shit going in the trunk. I ain't never listening to it. How do you do that? How do you compete with these people without already doing what's been done? Because the mind is tricky. The mind will have you think you're creating some new shit, but you done seen it. You don't even realize you've seen it.
Yes.
How do you do that? How do you handle that?
I compete with others by not competing with others. I network with others. I connect with them. I'm not reading. When I'm about to write, I don't read anyone's book because I just don't need your story or something sitting, around me. That's me personally. But when I write, I don't go writing thinking, oh my God, I have to stand out from the millions of people that has entered this genre, because I'm ultimately doing me, and I say this a lot. It's people out here reading. Like Zane's daughter says Zane can read 2 to 3 books a day. Honestly.
Yeah, we watched her.
We watched her read a book like in a day. And you have these readers out here that are reading a book a day. So unless I have 365 books to give you every year, I have no competition. Because when you read my books, you need something else to read. But I'm going to want you to wait and not read again till next year. So that's why I even have my platform, First Chapter. I welcome other writers and authors on my own platform, just so that we can network and help each other. So there is no competition. And the way how I stay relevant is by not even thinking about what you're doing and just being authentic to myself. I'm being my authentic self. I'm writing me. You'll hear in my stories you get. And I used to say, why do you keep calling me an urban fiction writer? Why do you keep calling me an urban fiction writer? I don't want to be locked into that box. But then I got to realize and look back at my language. When people read my book, they hear me through it. And I am urban all the way. Yes. I could, no matter if it's a DR in front of my name, an MRS, an MS, or whatever you get, I am going to be probably Keisha from Park Heights. And I love it.
I just now realized why you're a writer.
You like that?
I was slow as shit trying to figure out what the fuck an MR or MRS was.
Whatever abbreviation I have, this is exactly what you're going to get. So even when you should see me, when I'm doing these workshop and these parents workshop, or when I'm standing in front of a meeting and doing a professional workshop, I'm a crack a joke. I'm like, girl, and this is how I've sat on job interviews and was myself. I went on a job interview and got a job because they asked me, shout out to, I'm not even going to say his name, but he asked me, he said, I had 3 other interviews. Why should I hire you? Before I said, because I'm probably more than likely better than the rest of them. And then, and I'm saying that, and he said, where do you see yourself 5 or 10 years from now? I said, being your competitor if you don't treat me right. And this is exactly what I told him on the interview. And he was like, hide me on the spot. And I was being myself. I was really being myself. I wasn't telling no lie. You treat me good and you got a team player. You treat me bad. I went, and then this my lane, or I'm coming for you.
So you just now answered something that I was that I actually had as a question. In that competitive world that you deal with, you feel me? Understanding that no competition, what they consider is all competition is really no competition, because it's enough room for all of us to eat.
Yes.
So that's basically the type of game that you was just now spitting from, you feel me? And we respect you for that. And one of my questions for you was actually answered within that, because you have recently created a platform on social media that you offer every week for an author to actually read their own material and get a chance to talk to your fan base, get a chance to talk to their own fan base, get a chance to gain new fans. And you were able to give that. I've never seen Burger King fucking allow McDonald's to put down a flyer inside there next to the Golden Arches.
Yes.
It didn't happen. You feel me? You're not, you don't see that. Wendy's not, little Wendy, the little red haired chick, she's not holding the Burger King crown and shit, talking about me or them. You feel me? So I thought that was dope. And you really answered it. So it's not much that I have to say, but I had to point out the perspective of, she's literally creating an avenue for everybody to move.
It need to move like that of sort, because at the end of the day, that's like when we say black on black crime. Why are we all black when we all in the same boat? Especially if you're a local author. You ain't moving these major figures. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So why not piggyback off each other and help each other? Maybe if McDonald's was to say, look, our milkshake machine is down, but Burger King milkshake is up. Guess what? Then when Burger King over there, they be like, look, we ran out of fries. Why don't we McDonald's get some fries? That's how my mother had a Jamaican restaurant on Rogers and Park Heights, JBR Red Park. Directly across the street, you have Montego Bay, directly across the street. Shout out to Kirky. He sold beef patty, Jamaican restaurant. I remember times, and people wouldn't even know this. When they first opened, everybody thought it was 2 Jamaican restaurants in competition with each other, not knowing that they were so close that if we ran out of rice and peas, we was able to go over Kirky and be like, Kirky, we ran out of rice and peas, and he'll send a big pot here. If Kirky ran out of white rice, we sending it. We are all eating. When we all eat, what Jay said, that circle, right? The dynasty, that's what the dynasty, circle of success.
Yo, I love that. If everybody's in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged, nobody will fall because everyone will be each other's crutches.
Okay. You get what I'm saying? If I'm leaning, guess what? I'm leaning on you go bring me back. You leaning and bring him back. You be bringing
Exactly.
back. So as an author, if I need to sell, when after they read your book, send them to me. After they read my books, I send them to you. We got a flow coming on.
But
That's what it
these
is.
are the things. These are the things that the world don't see. You feel me? And it happens inside of our shit. You feel me? Our relationship one on one.
Yeah.
People don't realize. I think people think that me and you sit there and we create a lot of our material or things that we move.
Yeah.
Nigga, we are the biggest competitors. Like we compete with each other. But the difference from our competing is love. She wants success from me. I want success from her. At the end of the day, we still bringing that shit to the table. Hey, what did you learn today? I learned this. What did I learn today? I learned this. Now we bring those together. You feel me? You ain't got to go through that experience because I went through it. I ain't got to go through that experience because you went through it. But I think that's how business should work. So I wanted to point out. I wanted to take a second to point out that love factor that you have incorporated, even though, back to what we talked about earlier, you charge for consultation.
Yeah.
But you still offer avenues that you should succeed in. You feel me? Why wouldn't you bring me your friend? Listen, I'm Keisha Starr. Yeah. You ain't gonna write a fucking book like me. It's impossible.
I don't care who you are. You the best.
Yeah, it's impossible. How can you write a Keisha Starr book?
I have to.
I can't write another person's book.
I can't write your book though.
Exactly.
And I can't write your book and you can't write mine. And it's not like you're sitting here like, I'm better than you, you better than me. I'm just saying I'm good at me. I'm good at being me.
I said that shit the other day. We were sitting around family and I was like, shit, man, me and Keisha competing all the time. And I realized because I was drinking at that time that it sounded very, very, very weird because everybody don't really understand what that means. No, nigga, if I don't
it's better, it's encouraging.
No, my shit, we competing to a point, but we're not beefing. We're not trying to steal each other. I'm not trying to take anything from you. My competitive spirit is only to make you better. Yeah. That's what.
Not to mention, I got two kids for you.
Oh yeah, so you gonna.
Your success is mine.
But that's everybody. We're just speaking in general. we're just speaking in general of what we do inside the realms that we control in the world that we control. You feel me? It's okay being. I love hip hop. Hip hop's one of the greatest things I think ever created. And the reason why I say that is because it's a world that teaches competitiveness is okay. Let's compete because you're trying to one up me. That's what we're doing. But your one up don't mean that you're trying to leave me either. It means, hey, nigga, I got this. Look, this is what we did. This is what I did to get there. You feel me? We rocking, you rolling. We doing all of that shit together. And a lot of people don't understand those things. And that's what you have provided with your platform. I watch you every Thursday night. Every Thursday night, you go on live with the artist, with the author that you don't even know. No. And I don't know if you know how much that means. I can only imagine being an up-and-coming artist, an up-and-coming rapper, whatever the fuck I was, and every Thursday night I got a place that I could log into and get real advice from somebody that I have seen do successful things on that level.
I have some of those same authors in my inbox because now they know and they be like, look, I need a graphic artist or I need this. How can I do this? And I've been telling, I'm quick to like, no, don't do this here, do that way. Giving them plugs, and doing stuff. I don't have to, and I would never say, oh, I help such and such. I would never say that ever because guess what? I led by example. Not only did Nikki didn't have to do that for me, that she did. So first of all, I was schooled by some OG. I want to say, so I got OG principles in me coming out. That's coming from someone in the game that didn't have to come to Park Heights to take her shoes off. That's one. Then I have my family. I have a family that say, if God put it on your heart, you do it. And a lot of time God say, do it. And I move with it. If God say does it, I move with it. Even if I think, I have people who intentions I know, like, and they think they're getting over. We spoke on that. I've had people called to pick my brain or act like they're calling for something, but we know that their intentions is to get information, get this and do something. And they think that they're being slick in their approach. And we have laughed and said, I know what you wanted. And you even say, well, why did you give them that? And what did you do? God told me to, So why should I even fear what you're about to do with this knowledge and information? You can't break me. You're not gonna be able to. It's not a competition. So here it is. Here's the information. And hopefully that'll change you. Hopefully you go from being this conniving ass person that's calling until you go take what I tell you, go help somebody. Hopefully you realize that no one have to do these things. So
Doctor,
if I
have a question.
Yes.
I have a question, Doctor. Because I keep saying competitive. Can it be competitive spirit without being a competition? It can be, right?
Yes. Yes. And
okay,
that's
so
when
I
say.
think
So in my class that I teach, this one I'm about to get into the mental health Dr. Wizard. We have the 3 layers of the conscious of the mind. You have the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and then the unconscious mind. This is what Freud had termed, and it's shaped like the iceberg. At the top is the conscious mind that you can see above the water. The middle part that you can see a little bit in the water is the subconscious, and below is that unconscious. And that's where we keep those negative thoughts, behavior, patterns, emotions, stuff that we're not too great about having. We don't want, and that's where jealousy lies, envy, jealousy, and everything. So I tell my students in my class, in my workshops, look, don't feel ashamed that if you feel jealous of someone is what you do with jealousy. I say, because we have all seen someone had something that we really wanted and be like, damn, I wish I had that. Or damn, they had the opportunity to get that and I don't, even though I've been trying hard. I said, what you do with it then? Do you motivate? Do you get motivated? Do you go to that person and say, hey, would you mentor me? Could you show me how you do that? Or do you sit back like, hate that person, hate that thing, and you find every reason why they shouldn't have it and why you should? So that's where I think competition go. Friendly competition. Oh my God, you know what? You sold how many books? All right, watch. I'm about to go outsell you. And then that person should be like, let's see, because that person know when you get up there, you're not leaving them. You can only bring them up there with you. And then if they go a little higher, then they go bring you up. And that's how y'all both climb. So it's that friendly. It's what you do with that competitive thought. If you have a competitive thought and it's have the right intentions, it is not a bad thing.
No hate in that competitive thought. That hate.
No hate. No hatred behind it.
You over there spitting facts. Look, facts. Look,
Miss Keisha,
I couldn't say that. Then the facts is very, very soft already. I can't. The period cool would have had them talking about me. I have one more listener submitted question today. Look, we love these. They going in. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm excited to see who this is now.
Let's go.
Hey, Keisha, it's Tasha. Just wanted to ask you, what has been your most interesting ghostwriting project? Like, can you spill some juicy details for us?
I love you, Tasha. So let me tell y'all, Tasha has been a lifesaver. Shout out to Carver High School class of because I ain't telling my age. No, I am, because we the best class. Class of 97, Carver High School. Shout out to all the classes, but class of 97 is the best. And Tasha has been nothing. I want to just stop and say that. Nothing but a blessing. She don't have to do what she did. She seen me doing it. And that's what you talk about when I say I got that strong supportive foundation. And I'm pretty sure any one of my friends would have jumped in it. But I need a business. I needed someone to help me with the business aspect of it. She jumped in and just jumped right on it. Honestly, sometimes I don't even be knowing what I need. She get on business calls, and when I make it plans, she like, no, she can't do that schedule. She got something to do that day because she know my schedule more than I do. So shout out to Tasha for saying that. Now, the ghostwriting project, I cannot say the name because we cannot say any names, but I can tell you the best one I had was someone that y'all watch on TV. She funny as heck. Oh God, it's someone that is, and it's actually two. I have stories that, and oh my goodness, I can't really, you're not bound to say something. But the two, ironically, I have two that are people that you guys would know if I say the name. Then I have one who I'm working on right now. And Lord have mercy. That's what I love to do. Her story, her real life story is so juicy. Let me get my man. It's not even no tea in this, but when she was telling me her life story, I was sitting there like, and then at one point I'm like, wait a minute, let me fact check this because this can't be true. And yes, if you Googled the stuff she told me when I Googled it, I was like, girl, and she's like from Baltimore. And when that book come out, Lord have mercy, I would have loved to have written by Keisha on that one. But she's gonna do some amazing things. I hope you guys, when y'all see her book and it comes out, I hope people don't look at, okay, well, she's a new author, or I don't know her, and don't pick it up because you'd be missing a juicy book. That's why you need to give people that you don't know a chance, because you never know who ghostwrited their actual story, and their story are better than what we was watching, Snowfall. You got these stories, you got Power, you got Snowfalls, and you got all these stories, and you got the guy that's right there that you passing that may be sitting on the block with CVS, who knows if he in front of the 7-Eleven, the mom and pop store, whatever he is, you never know what story. He got that story, and you don't even know the story behind it. I find there's a lot of people. You have a friend, and that's not like I can't, and then, we got to talk to him about the documentary, and that's what our documentary is about. We have a documentary that's coming out called My Life is an Open Book. And that's about people who have unique life stories that you would think you're reading a fiction novel, but no, this is their actual life story. So I can't wait to bring that out.
Right. So, Keisha Starr, as a writer, does the characters in your story that you have created ever get you in trouble because people know that it's about them, or think so strongly that it's about them?
Yes, like hold on. I remember when I first started writing Jamaican Me Crazy, and my aunt, Auntie Sharon, I love you. Well, Auntie Sharon, we were sitting down, and we actually left the club, so we had wine in us, and we both drinking our wine, and Jamaican party, you leave at 4:00 in the morning, so we saucy. She like, what you need to stop doing is writing them damn books about me, because I read the first chapter of your book. Stop telling my story. And I'm like, your story? And then, I had family like, listen, my sister Malia was like, some people think that it's about them. I done had 3 family members claim the character Jamaica. I done had 2 friends claim but this is the thing. When you write a story, that's when I knew I was on to something great. Your character is supposed to be relatable, so relatable that your readers are seeing themselves in it. And although I may not have met you, but you might have picked up the book and read Jamaica and swear I'm writing your life story. That's when you have done your details, your background. You know exactly what's really going on in the world. You're in touch with the world and reality when you can write a book and people think it's about them. So I know at first I used to be like, why do you think that this is about you? How? Then when I start getting it multiple times, I start laughing and be like, that's good. Then I had people ask me, was it about me? And I said, well, some, could be inspired. That's where creative nonfiction come in, because my stories are urban fiction so far, although you're going to get more out of different genres. But when you do creative nonfiction, that's when you tell real life stories, but you do it in an entertaining way, where because you're doing it for the sake of entertainment, but you also want to tell your story, or that person want to tell their story, but they don't want people to know it's about them, and they still want it to be fun or people to read chapter after chapter. So that's when you is inspired and different things. And so I do have some of that going on with myself, but yeah, sometimes sometimes somebody's story I made like fuck for beats, FFB. I told you, FFB, you may see some things.
For those that don't remember, FFB is fuck for beats. But anyway, Keisha Starr, look, it's been wonderful.
Oh,
it's been wonderful. I want to make sure the world knows just how great you are. And this interview was done not only because of our relationship, that really had nothing to do with it.
Let's tell them that story behind it. I just finished my book.
Hold on. Which part of the relationship are we going to start as far back as when you did not get on my song and I failed as a rapper?
Hold on now. We're going to get on that. Y'all remember he kept saying that, right? So this is Jamaican Me Crazy Part 1. Shout out to Simone. Y'all hear me talking about Simone?
Making me go Crazy Part
You're making
1.
me go crazy part 1. Y'all hear me talk about the cousins. You hear Simone. Here go my cousin Simone on there.
Moni Moan.
I did it. Okay. Then I had part 2. And I'm like, I'm doing the business part. Shout out to my cousin Courtney. This is Tax cousin Courtney, but she my cousin. This is
G
Courtney.
baby, what it is?
G baby. Shout out to Aunt Dawson. You know, they have a great company that they do. So if you're looking for events planning, you know I'm gonna plug people. Go to their page. But after I did this book, I'm setting up a whole book tour, virtual book tour. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going on these different podcasts, radio interviews, and book clubs. And so I was putting it together. And I'm giving Tasha the dates, and we putting stuff together. And naturally, I knew I was going on Cards Face Up. And so I reached out to the host, Ty Hill, and I said, look, I need a date. And he was like, we don't do that here. I was like, what? We don't just bring authors on right now. This is not what we're doing here. This is for this. What? So y'all notice he came up with I Declare War, which I just happened to fit into what they're doing. So don't think I got a pass because I was his baby mama. Fiance, you don't say. I didn't get a pass for that.
We all know that Cards Face Up podcast. Listen, Cards Face Up podcast has a second expansion of it, which is the I Declare War. I Declare War is the part where we actually, we basically give. I hate to say giving flowers while people are still alive because everyone is using that. You feel me? But this is a place where we honor and we give a shout out to people that I consider to be great.
Yes.
You feel me? And we give a shout out to
definitely
their
are people
past,
that you like,
present, and future. So it's very important over here what we do. Nobody that I have on Cards Face Up, I'm sorry, nobody that I have on I Declare War with Ty Hill is people that somebody told me to go get. All of them are people that I love dearly for what they have contributed to whatever realm it is that I feel as though they have controlled. You feel me? And that's what that is. So Keisha Starr fits inside that realm because, as I stated before, she's not only the mother of my children, she is also somebody that I'm a big fan of. And as we said, you feel me? My memory of retrospect, what is it? Retrospect, whatever. That memory is a real life memory. It's no memory that you will ever get on I Declare War that is not a real memory. I do not have to think of these memories when I start the show. These are already memories that made me contact that person to say, hey, I need them on there because I want to give the world that piece of memory and time because they should feel that memory too. It means that much to me. So look, Keisha Starr, in honor of I Declare War with Ty Hill, you got 5 seconds to answer these questions. Are you ready?
Oh God, I got to do this one too. Okay, this is
you
so
do.
hard.
Look, this is I Declare War.
Oh,
love
God.
or money?
Love.
Writing or singing?
Writing.
Favorite author?
Sister Soldier.
Favorite place to be?
Home.
Home?
Home with my kids.
Okay. If you could talk to one person that is not here no longer, who would it be?
My father.
Leaving the world today. Give us your last words to the world to inspire. This is what they're going to remember about Keisha Starr, Keisha Wizard, Dr. Starr, Dr. Wizard. What will they be?
Love yourself.
That's what it is. I want you to give the world a chance to know where they can catch up with you. Look, this is a great time for everybody that's listening. This is a great time to not only follow everything that Keisha Starr is about to say, this is a great time to start following every place that Cards Face Up podcast is, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Spotify, whether it be your Apple phone, your Google phone, wherever it is, iHeartRadio, we are everywhere. Make sure you go there and actually follow. So I need you, Keisha Starr, Keisha Wizard, Dr. Starr, Dr. Wizard. I need you.
Dr. Hillstone.
Okay, turn them up. First doctor in the Hill world. Listen, I need you to make sure that your fans and your new fans and everybody that's listening knows what you're doing new, knows what's going on with you, because we didn't get a chance to get into, You're Making Me Go Crazy Part 1, which was fucking sold out everywhere at one point. I don't know if y'all realize that. You're Making Me Go Crazy. Now, of course, if you're following my podcast, we've been we've been plugging this. So y'all know this book is the first book I've ever read in my life.
Yes, it is.
And I fucking love it. You feel me?
Oh,
And
shout out to Mo. Let's not forget Mo. Diary of a Boss Chick. Hey, let's not forget Mo.
Definitely. So what I want to do with that is I want you to go through a timeline of the book. Let's go through a timeline of the books and what they are to make sure y'all know. These books that she is about to say are books that can be found anywhere books are sold. Also, you have an opportunity to go to extraordinarypublishing.com and actually buy the book from her, and we will sign those for you. Not we, because I ain't signed nothing, but Keisha Starr will sign those books for you personally and send them out to you personally. Of course, it is a delivery fee with those because it has to be delivered, but you have that option, or you have anywhere books are sold. So Keisha Starr, let's go through your timeline real quick. Let's start it off.
We have
what was the year? You gotta tell us the year.
Lord G, 2011.
Yes, it is.
It was. I was right. 2011.
Was right.
Street Chronicles. A Woman's Work with Nikki Turner.
We couldn't see it.
I'm sorry. Street Chronicles. A Woman's Work with Nikki Turner. My Story is the first one in there. Dying to Be a Star. 2003. Diary of a Boss Chick. With my 2013. 13. I knew it was a 3. Diary of a Boss Chick. With my girl Mo. Okay, that's my girl.
Monique Hall, what up? Ron, what up, brother?
You have Jamaican Me Go Crazy 2018?
No.
I think it is 2018.
It is not.
Don't play with me. 2018 copyrighted. 2018. Jamaican Me Go Crazy Part 1, and you have 2021 Jamaican Me Go Crazy Part 2.
Okay,
right now, I'm available if you go to my website, www.extraordinary.com, which is spelled EXSTARDINARY.com. You can buy my books. Under products and services, you'll see I offer individual one-on-one expressive writing facilitation. I do group facilitation, family facilitation, songwriting. We have an online website that's opening in spring of 2021, where my slogan is turn your pain into payments. I help you take your trauma. We walk you through it, and then you write your own life story. And we have the documentaries. My Life is an Open Book that's coming up. So we're doing it. And I just want to say, while I'm on Cards Face Up, anybody that know anything about me, I just thought it was only right that I bought my own deck of cards, because he have his. And it's my Golden Girls deck of cards. No.
For those that don't know her, and they're going to follow all of her social media, which is
my social media on Facebook is at Keisha Starr. Or that is maxed out. You have at Keisha Starr fan page on Instagram. But
it's only maxed out to the point that you can still follow. Make sure you can still follow. She just can't accept you as a friend.
Yes, on Instagram, Twitter, and Clubhouse is at Keisha Starr. And on YouTube is Extraordinary Publishing.
Okay, remember that Keisha Starr is spelled KeishaStarr. It has to have 2 R's or she's not the real Keisha.
Me not normal, me not regular. So you have to put 2 stars per my name. You have to put 2 stars per my name.
Yeah, for those that do not know, this interview was an honor and a pleasure to me. You feel me? And I know I stated it in the beginning, but Keisha, you know that I am a big fan of yours. I'm your biggest supporter. I know that you're going to be great, and you're already great. I just know that it's going to continue to keep growing and continue to keep inspiring and continue to keep just fucking exploding and creating new avenues for everybody that's around you. And we thank you for that. Again, this platform is one of those platforms that is created to make sure that we shout out the past, the present,
we gonna do this,
the future. Now,
you notice I said
we could do this show 20 times. Right now, we could do this show 20 times at an hour time max. And each time we will have content to talk about. It's no way possible for me to give y'all all of the Keisha Starr that the world needs to see. But I need y'all to make sure that y'all follow Keisha Starr on all of those platforms. I also
email me at book Keisha Starr at gmail.com.
book KeishaStarr@gmail.com. Remember the extraordinary, all of this stuff will be inside of the description of the video. You feel me? But it's extraordinary.com. It's EXSTARDINARY.com. Make sure y'all go there for all of your Keisha Starr needs. Remember, Stars Face Up podcast.
Let me ask you though, wait, before you log off, do you watch Boomerang?
Yeah.
So when are we going to fuck?
This is episode number 37. Peace out, y'all. Blessings.